The sky was heavy with darkness. The world had drowned in chaos. Nations had fallen. Corruption had spread like fire across the earth. The cries of the innocent echoed in every corner. Humanity was exhausted. The Dajjal had emerged. His deception was unmatched. He called himself God. He twisted the truth. Millions followed him blindly. The weak clung to his false promises. The powerful bowed to his illusions. The earth trembled under his tyranny. He commanded the skies to rain. He stopped the winds. He made deserts bloom. He made rivers dry. He enslaved hearts with fear. But not all believed him. A small group resisted, a group that clung to faith. They gathered in hiding. They whispered prayers in the night. They cried out to Allah for salvation. They waited for hope, and hope was destined to come. Far away in Damascus, a white minaret stood tall. The air became heavy with anticipation. The angels descended, wings spread across the horizon. A light unlike any other pierced the sky. And then he came. Isa ibn Maryam's Ayest, the son of Maryam, the servant of Allah, the messenger who was never killed, the prophet who was raised alive. He descended gracefully. His hands rested on the wings of two angels. His hair dripped as if water flowed from it. Drops fell, shimmering like pearls. His face glowed with divine light. Every eye turned to him. Every believer's heart trembled with joy. The world had not seen such beauty, such majesty for centuries. He descended to the white minaret of Damascus. The call of Takbir shook the heavens. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! The believers wept. The oppressed raised their hands. Their prayers were answered. Isa A.S. had returned, not as a new prophet, not with a new scripture, but as a follower of Muhammad A. He bowed his head in humility. He would break the cross. He would kill the swine. He would abolish the falsehoods. The time had come. The time to confront the greatest liar. The time to confront the Dajjal. The believers gathered around Isa A.S. Their hearts filled with courage. They were ready to fight. But Isa A.S. calmed them. His voice was gentle yet firm. Peace be upon you, O servants of Allah. This is the promise of Allah. Stand firm, for truth will prevail. The army of the Dajjal marched closer. His soldiers were countless, his arrogance unmatched. He believed none could stop him. He laughed at the weak. He mocked the believers. But his laughter would soon end. The final battle was near. The earth awaited its destiny. The skies awaited their command. History awaited its turning point. And in the heart of every believer burned a fire of hope. For they knew the return of Isa's A.S. was not just a story. It was the promise of Allah. It was the beginning of the end. It was the battle that would shake the world. The news spread like wildfire, from village to village, from city to city. The believers whispered it with trembling lips. He has returned. Isa ibn Maryam S. walks among us. Tears rolled down their faces. The earth that had drowned in despair now tasted hope. But not everyone was joyful. The Dajjal raged with fury. His pride was shattered. His throne of deception shook. He shouted to his followers, "Do you not see? This man is a fraud! I am your Lord! I control the rain! I give life and death!" His words echoed, but his power weakened. The light of Isis A.S. burned through his lies. The false miracles of the Dajjal dimmed. The people who once bowed to him began to doubt. Some broke their chains and fled. Others clung tighter in fear. The world was now divided in two. On one side, the army of falsehood. On the other, the army of truth. Isis A.S. stood among the believers. His presence was calm, yet it carried the weight of divine command. He walked through their ranks. He touched their shoulders. He raised their spirits. You are not alone. Allah is with you. This is the day when truth will triumph. The believers raised their swords. Their eyes glistened with tears of courage. But Isa's A.S. knew it was not strength that would win. It was faith. It was the power of Tawheed. And so they prepared. The battlefield was set near a place called Lod. The air was thick. The earth shook as armies gathered. The Dajjal appeared in all his arrogance. He rode with pride. His followers chanted his name. His eyes glared with hatred. His voice roared like thunder. "Bow to me, O Isa! Admit I am your Lord." Isa A.S. raised his hand. His voice was steady. "Silence! O liar, you are nothing but dust. You claim divinity, yet you fear death. You deceive the blind, but you cannot deceive the Creator. The Dajjal's face twisted with rage. He bellowed in anger. His soldiers charged. The clash began. Swords met swords. Shields clashed with shields. The cries of battle filled the skies. But Isa, AAS, did not fear. He moved forward with certainty. Every step shook the ground. The believers followed him. Their hearts pounded like drums. The Dajjal saw Isa, AS, advancing. And for the first time, he felt fear. His power began to crumble. His illusions vanished in Isa's presence. He tried to run. He tried to hide. But there was no escape. The Prophet of Allah was destined to strike him down. The believers pushed forward. They cried, Allahu Akbar! The earth shook with their voices. The sky roared with thunder, and the battle raged on. The forces of falsehood began to collapse. The armies of truth rose higher. But Isa's AS did not stop. His eyes remained fixed on the deceiver, the one who had enslaved hearts, the one who had spread corruption, the one who had claimed lordship. The Dajjal stumbled. His arrogance turned into desperation. He screamed to his soldiers, Protect me! Protect your master! But their hearts faltered. They saw the weakness in his face. They saw the truth of Isa's light. One by one, they deserted him. The battlefield turned into chaos. Falsehood was breaking apart, and Isa, AS, pressed forward. The believers cheered. Their courage soared. The promise of Allah was unfolding before their eyes. The liar was being cornered. The greatest deceiver was losing his power. The moment was near. The moment the world had awaited for centuries. The confrontation of truth and falsehood. The battle that would shake the world. The battlefield trembled. The cries of men echoed across the land. The sky was painted with dust and smoke. The earth shook beneath the weight of destiny. Isa AS walked forward. His steps were filled with certainty. Every movement carried the will of Allah. The Dajjal staggered backwards, his face pale, his lies unraveling, his power crumbling. He tried to command the winds. He tried to control the skies. But nothing obeyed him anymore. His illusions vanished like smoke. The people saw the truth. The deceiver was weak. The deceiver was powerless. Isa, Ace raised his voice. O enemy of Allah, you deceived the nations. You spread corruption. You claimed divinity. But today, the truth has come, and falsehood will perish. The Dajjal screamed. His voice cracked with fear. He turned and ran. His soldiers scattered like shadows. The earth seemed to reject him. The winds pushed against him. The ground refused to carry him. He fled toward Lod. But Isa AS pursued him. The believers followed behind. Their chants shook the air. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! The world held its breath. At the gates of Lod, the moment arrived. Isa AS caught the deceiver. His hand struck him down. The Dajjal fell. His body crumbled. His reign ended. The liar was dead. The greatest trial was over. The believers wept in joy. The oppressed lifted their hands. The world sighed in relief. Peace returned to the land. The armies of falsehood dissolved. The banners of truth rose high. Isa AS stood before the people. His voice carried across the earth. Know that I am a servant of Allah. Oh, I am not your God. I am not your Lord. I am the messenger who was raised, and today I return as a follower of Muhammad. Wah! The believers bowed in humility. The world was filled with light again. The cross was broken. The falsehood was erased. The lies were shattered. Justice filled the earth. Isa's AS ruled with fairness. He established peace. He brought harmony. Wealth flowed like water. No one was poor. No one was oppressed. The earth gave its blessings. The skies poured rain. The animals lived in peace. Even the wolves and lambs grazed together. The sword was abandoned. War was silenced. The sound of prayer filled the world. The believers rejoiced. For centuries humanity had waited, and now the promise was fulfilled. But Isa AS reminded them, this world is temporary. This peace is not forever. The final hour will come. The trumpet will be blown, and every soul will return to its Creator. He reminded them of humility. He reminded them of obedience. He reminded them of death. The believers listened. Their hearts trembled. Their eyes overflowed with tears. The rule of Isa as brought years of peace. Justice reigned across the earth. No tyrant rose again. No deceiver spread lies. The shadow of Dajjal was gone. But the signs of the last day continued, one by one. Each prophecy unfolding, each promise of Allah coming true. The return of Isa as was a mercy, but it was also a reminder that the world was nearing its end, that eternity awaited, that the real battle was not of swords, but of faith. The hearts of men were being tested, and the faithful clung to the rope of Allah. The children of tomorrow grew in peace. The orphans found comfort. The widows found shelter. The poor became rich. The weak became strong. The world became a garden again. And Isa as led them with wisdom. The earth was filled with justice. The believers knew this was the mercy of Allah. This was the victory of truth. This was the battle that shook the world. The story that began with corruption ended with purity. The story that began with despair ended with hope. The story that began with lies ended with truth. And above it all, the name of Allah was glorified forever.